there's a level of resiliency, I think, that the team showed here to come out in the second half and weather the storm, because San Jose continued to dominate possession and push. And Sporting Kansas City not only saw out a 1-goal lead, which is not something we can say about this team in recent history, they expanded it. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of No Other Pod. I'm Jimmy. No, you good buddy, Daniel Kooser, and Dan. We got our second victory pod of the year.
I'm not ready. The goals, too many goals. There shouldn't be 8 goals in a game. I'm not prepared for this. Everyone's like, soccer, so low scoring, and I'm like, watch this game, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, this was insane, dude.
It was a wild Saturday night because the Current were playing at the same time as Wrestlemania Night 1. And then as Wrestlemania Night 1 is ending, we got Sporting Kansas City who's firing goal after goal after goal. And you're thinking, oh, easy dub. And then, nope, Sporting shows up. It's not an easy dub, but then they get it done. And it was a busy Saturday night.
It was more of a busy, I had it on the laptop, but you don't watch two things. You just can't. You can try to glance, but you don't really do it. Got through both games, man. KC Current and Sporting Sunday morning. It had me thinking, because then I watched Formula One and I was like, I watch a lot of bullshit. I was like, I'm a fan of too much stuff. Like I'm real glad I don't watch like XFL or whatever, or it's called UFL now.
UFL, yeah.
I'm really glad I'm not invested in like the St. Louis football team, because that'd be just another 3 hours of my life dedicated every week, and who's got the time?
The Battlehawks.
I tried. Like the very first season, I was like, I'll pay attention. And then I just didn't. It's like that way with a lot of things.
It's a good name. It's a real good name.
It's a great name. And they play in that America's Dome, where the Royal Rumble was when I went.
Yeah.
But what's really got me jazzed, though, man, on a Sunday morning or whatever, maybe it happened overnight at like 2 a.m. So you got to catch the replay because it was in like China. It's Formula One.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Me, like a lot of other people, I'm sure, got into it from the damn Netflix docuseries. It's just so good. And I don't know, man. The announcers make it exciting too. You're like, I don't know what's happening, but they're excited, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I have not gotten into Formula One yet, not because I don't think I would like it, but because I just don't have enough time.
There's time. Like a race is like an hour and a half, but you aren't even ready for the qualifying day. It's like an hour where they run against time, and like the low 5 get disqualified from it, and then like 15 go, and then those 5 get gone, and then there's 10 going for like the top position, and that's how you'll line up on race day. Qualifying's almost more exhilarating than race day.
Yeah, that's why I know if I started it, I'd like it, but I know you get mad at me because I don't watch NXT really either. I'm like, I feel like I'm
mad.
You get so mad. Let me tell you, if you saw the text messages this man sent me, just berating me. No, I'm kidding.
You're making these future predictions, and I'm like, I'm watching the future.
I know. I have to say, I nailed 100% my Wrestlemania Night 2 predictions down to it's going to be Becky Lynch coming back to team with Lyra Valkyria.
Okay, well that just means that they didn't do a good job then. If they couldn't fool someone,
I'm not arguing with you.
It's crazy.
If I look, I'm not one who's sitting there and reading every blog or whatnot, but this was a very predictable Mania. I think the only one I got wrong out of every night is I thought CM Punk was going to win night 1 main event.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But so they swerved me on that one.
I thought Rollins was going to. I thought that's precisely how it was going to turn out at the end.
You thought Paul was going to do a double, do the low blow and rummage around and
the old shake and rattle. Absolutely.
Got the rudder trying to steer him the right direction.
I did think that. I listened to this podcast from Sam Roberts. He's like a wrestling dude, and he was mentioning that could happen, and I was like, dude, I could see that. That's viable shit.
It is interesting. That was so I think the best match that happened over both nights was the Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bianca Belair match. That was a badass match. That was
They were hitting each other like large men.
yeah.
Like they were just clubbing.
I saw someone and I feel bad because like the Tiffy Charlotte match, it was fine, but I saw someone be like, if you compare like the fluidity and the confidence and the way that those three were wrestling on night 2 with Bianca, Rhea, and Io compared to like the sort of like apprehensive, almost rigidity of Tiffany and Charlotte night 1, like it was night and day.
Charlotte's been gone. She just comes back and we expect her to be in like good form and stuff.
Her
Like
knee is not in good shape. Yeah.
you got Rhea and everybody else on TV every week doing shit.
Yeah.
You know?
So that was awesome. I enjoy. I thought Mania was fine this
It
year.
always is. Everyone's mad because it didn't end with a happy ending. You didn't get your Avengers moment. And it's like, you don't have to end on a happy ending.
I'm not mad because it didn't end on a happy ending. I knew Cena was going to win. What I'm more mad about is that their big like moment was Travis Scott. I just don't care about Travis Scott.
Who gives a shit about Travis Scott? Why is he a part of that? It's like, why is he here?
If he would have come out with Cena from the beginning, it would have been, I think, better. But the fact that they made their like big main event moment was Travis Scott coming out, I just was like, I don't give a shit. And it felt, honestly, I obviously wasn't there, but it kind of felt to me like, even though the match itself wasn't all that good, because Cena's kind of old and, it's tough for him. But it felt like the crowd was starting to get into it. And then the Travis Scott music hit, and it kind of felt like the whole stadium just kind of deflated. And they were like, oh, okay, now Travis Scott's here. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was done. So, I had a little get together, and we were all like, what do we care?
It just feels like that was like they did that for TikTok, and all the like actual fans are kind of like, okay, cool. But I don't know, maybe it fits with the story, because then like the only way they've kind of sold me on it a little bit is with Cena's promos after, where he's like, yeah, I'm here to ruin wrestling. Like everything that you want to happen, we're going to do the opposite because I'm mad. And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's what they were going for.
That is 100% what they were going for. His whole Titantron was like black.
That was badass. I did love that. That was kind of cool.
I was like, he just doesn't give a shit. He's done.
I didn't like the Cody entrance, because like they had some weird music play before with the motorcycles, and I was like, I don't know what's going on.
I was like, is this Nitro Circus? Like, is this Travis Pastrana over here? What's going on?
And then he had his Iron Man helmet that like popped open.
That was cool. I was like, is he Iron Man?
Yeah, I did that. You've been watching longer than I have. This felt like the first year where like the entrances themselves were sponsored, because like Drew McIntyre came out in like a full like Doomslayer costume as part of his entrance.
Yes, and then the War Raiders the other night did Clash of Clans stuff.
Yeah,
so it was weird.
That's a little different. If they can pull it, like Drew's was a badass entrance. So like, but it's interesting that like now you can almost like buy an entrance.
I would almost think like, as a wrestler, you're an independent contractor and you like to take creative control over your stuff, like your wardrobe, like the things you can control, you probably want to control. And when you can't even control your wardrobe because like Clash of Clans is paying money and we think you'd be the best to wear this gear.
Yeah.
Like, what do you probably get money for that too, right? Like,
I would hope so.
I would think Drew was like, yeah, sure, I'll wear it for a couple $1,000s, whatever it is.
I would hope so. Yeah. I mean, at least if you're a star of Drew McIntyre's stature, I'm sure you'd be like, yeah, I'll do it, but I need something out of this.
I had a blast. I mean, I didn't care. The undercard was great. Everything was great. The finale didn't have to blow the roof off the house. And Triple H said it in the post conference. He was like, we got more to do. Like, you can't just blow your load here at Mania. We got to build shit.
I think the thing that's most confusing, and I think I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this, is, and there's probably some truth to this, is like, does The Rock just like call him on any given day and he's like, hey, I'm going to be there tonight, so write something for me. And then he just dips for like 4 months at a time. And they're like, okay, I guess we're not going to have The Rock.
I know.
It's
so
weird.
Where's he at?
Yeah.
Filming Moana 4 or some bullshit?
I don't know. I did see in the merch shop, they had shirts that said, finally, The Rock has come back to Las Vegas.
Oh, is that right? Finally.
That's, well, it's
pretty weird.
A little bit more finally than yesterday, I guess, because it wasn't there.
I know we do Kansas City sports here, but can we get a wrestling spinoff pop? Is that a whole? I know it's Kansas City Sports Network, but god dang, could you imagine having a wrestling channel? Y'all would really benefit from this.
There is like a little a groundswell of like independent local Kansas City wrestling promos that out at Olathe, and I think in Gardner there's one that happens. So
I think we need to show up and spit some promos.
I did see what's that promo that's coming, the like really hardcore one, GCW, I think it was. I saw because they do like throwing each other through glass tables and on scissors and such,
hitting each other with fluorescent lights.
I did see a clip, and then we'll take our break and talk soccer. But I did see a clip on my Instagram where some dude was wrestling in GCW against another wrestler, but the other wrestler he's wrestling is called the Invisible Man. Yeah. And it's just this man, he's just throwing himself around the ring, losing to quote unquote the Invisible Man. And I was dying.
So funny.
I was dying. And he's doing a good job selling it. He's just literally tossing himself off and suplexing himself off the turnbuckles and such because the Invisible Man is just kicking his ass.
It's amazing. Have tickets gone on sale for this shit? Because I mean, I'm looking for it, man. I want to go.
It's so funny. Anyway, yeah, it was fun. It was a fun weekend. I thought night 1 was a little underwhelming, but the main event was great. I thought night 2 was great, and the main event was a little underwhelming. And overall, it evened out to a fun time. But we'll see. I think they're safe. It's the first 2-night SummerSlam this year, and I think it's in New York. So I think that they're saving the big ones for that.
Cardi B is hosting, and dude, I had like a crazy weekend. Even my Friday, I went to a drag show. My buddy does drag.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Have you been to a drag show before?
I haven't. I need to go. I know it's a good time.
I mean, it helps when you know someone. Like it's just, I find myself just smiling the whole time. I'm just having a ball, and the athleticism is unmatched by a lot of these gals. It was a cool time, man. I had my dollars out. I was like, come on. Come get it, Queens. I stuck it to my head, right on my forehead. Come get it.
I need to go. Hamburger Mary's, is that the famous place?
That's a big one in KC, yeah.
Yeah. So
this was at Washburn University here in town. Started at 7, which I'm like, hell yeah, old man status. I'm home by 9:30. That sounds great. It was literally listed that it would end at 9. I was like, this is for old people. Yeah. They had like snacks there, and it was in this ballroom. And it was like very
caramels.
No, but they did have like a cheese plate and crackers and stuff. I was like, wild. All drag shows I've been to have been at like some small bar where the chairs are uncomfortable. But this was a hell of a time.
You're drinking.
I'll be back.
Champagne and charcuterie boards.
It's just it's a testament to like student government is what it is for like putting together an event like that sponsored by the college. Like, when I was in college, I don't recall ever seeing events like that. So
no, we didn't have that at USC. We just had random EDM concerts that would come, like have a DJ in the courtyard, and that was about it. So
nice.
Anyway, let's take our break. We'll come back and we'll talk soccer some. There's plenty to talk about. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
Success in real estate takes more than vision. It takes the right financial partner. When someone takes something rundown and turns it into something great, that's called a comeback story, like Brain Group. They take distressed properties here in KC, completely rework them, and then turn them into valuable real estate. But that kind of work needs the right bank behind it. Enter Emprise Bank. They're not about cookie-cutter loans. They saw Brain Group's vision, backed them, and now they're making big moves in Kansas City real estate. Talk about your partner in possible. Emprise doesn't do one-size-fits-all financing. They invest in potential and back growth. Visit emprisebank.com/KC to learn more. Emprise Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Are you ready to win some real cash during the basketball playoffs? Well, check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 posterizes the competition. And yeah, that includes prize picks. Hit all your picks and score higher minimum payouts on Pick 6, plus even more cash if you outscore the competition. Pick 6 is available in most states, including Missouri, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. New players get 50 in Pick 6 credits instantly on just a $5 entry. Here's what you got to do. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN for new customers to play $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Man, I know you were out of the movie game, but are you seeing the hype that Sinners is getting?
I've heard it's pretty good.
You might need to get out there and see it. I think I'm going to try to go tomorrow.
Yeah.
And people are saying it's like an Avengers-like experience. I'm like, what are you saying right now?
Okay.
Because that was different for me,
Yeah. No, I've just been catching up on Andor. I'm rewatching season 1 before season 2 this week. I've heard good things.
Comes out tonight, right?
It's Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. Okay, yeah. Ooh. Daredevil wraps up, Andor starts. What a hell of a time.
Yeah. Well, and Last of Us season 2 is going strong. I've watched that. So
I haven't watched that yet.
I'm not going to tell you anything. Have you played the game?
Yeah, but
you know what happens.
I don't really remember.
Okay, well, I'm not going to say anything.
I mean,
I was
I'm going to be entertained. I'll tell you that. I hear a lot of people are shocked. I see Twitter and stuff, so I'm like, God dang it! You can't get on social media without spoiling one of your favorite shows.
That's why I had to watch it last night after Mania.
You watched it after Mania, bro? It was like midnight.
Yeah. I know. I was up until 1 in the morning.
What the fuck?
I had to watch
last post conference or anything?
A little bit.
But
then I watched
Last of Us.
I saw Cena's, and then I watched Last of Us, and then I watched Righteous Gemstones.
I need to watch Gemstones still. Okay. Guess what my Monday is? Yeah. Instead of while you're watching Monday Night Raw, I'll be watching my HBO shows.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because the rehearsal just came back, dude.
I am excited, and then I promise we'll talk soccer, but I am excited to watch Monday Night Raw. Well, obviously, we're recording this on Monday before Raw airs, but I'm excited because we're going to be at Raw in Kansas City next week. So tonight, I presume we're going to start seeing some of the matchups, or at least some of the people who are going to be there next week.
But, dude, it could be some returners. You don't even know.
We might see Cena at Raw because there's only 3 weeks between now and Backlash. And so
advertised for Raw.
Is he? I've never seen John Cena in person.
Really?
No. I'm excited to yell Cena sucks.
He wrestled a dark match when we were at a SmackDown one time. So that was cool.
Okay. Yeah, no, I haven't seen anybody that's advertised for when we're there yet. So I'm assuming we'll find out more tonight in terms of if we see Cena, if we see Seth Rollins, and if we see Rhea Ripley, I'll be happy because we didn't see any of them when we were there.
Cena's not on the card there, but Rollins is, and so is Rhea. So there you go.
Where are you looking?
Well, you go to the event details on T-Mobile Center.
But they were wrong last time.
They can be wrong, but majority of it is correct,
Last time they had Cody Rhodes on there, and he didn't show up.
Yeah, you're still butthurt about that.
I'm just saying, I wanted to see the American Nightmare, and he wasn't there.
That's all right. You'll see Jey Uso, though. You'll be good.
Well, I do hope we see Jey Uso. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm still not unconvinced that we'll see John Cena there. So
it's possible.
We'll see.
Listen though, we're scoring goals, baby. We are scoring goals in Kansas City, and it feels weird. And Daniel Salloi is missing wide open hat tricks. Gosh dang it, Daniel! We wanted this for you so bad.
Did you see his post-game press conference when he was like, they asked him like, what happened on that? And he goes, I know I have a message from my dad sitting on my phone. You mad at me that I didn't get a hat trick?
And all of us, whoever played like Little League sports is like connecting with this right now. We're like, damn it. Every time you miss a fly ball in the outfield.
You're like, I scored 2 goals. Focus on that, not the one I missed.
Right. But he also said like, man, I'll probably wake up a few times tonight thinking about that. But happy we won. But, definitely wanted a hat trick. So that was funny.
It is funny the difference in mentality you get after.
Mentality, you say?
After a lot. Mentality.
You talking to Peter Vermees?
The word.
Because Kerry Zavagman said mentality. And I was like, it's like Pee Wee Herman. It was the secret word.
Mm-hmm. He did. He said mentality last week. Because I asked him about set piece defending. He's talked about mentality. Talked about doing the dirty work. Got to do the dirty work like Dirty Dom.
You called in after WrestleMania. Like that is you were on the freaking call, bro.
I did. I'm a hard-working journalist.
You should have been at. I was listening to you, and I was like, "Is he still at his WrestleMania party?" Because it would be hilarious to still hear people yelling and shit.
Just in the background arguing. Okay, other sidebar, just real quick. Last thing I'll say about wrestling. My friend, I'm at his house. We're watching. We're making plans for SummerSlam and such. This dude is on the internet looking to buy kendo sticks that we can have for SummerSlam, because I wasn't there when they did this last time, but they did a couple years ago. They were doing like a chop challenge where they chopped each other. So now he wants to do kendo sticks. And I was like, I don't know if I want to get hit with a kendo stick.
I mean, you've got me looking them up too. What do you get them on Amazon?
I guess they're not cheap. They're not crazy, but they're not cheap. They're like $50 each. And I was like, those things break. I'm not sure I want to buy a $50 kendo stick just to hit each other and then have them break.
Well, how do you even find it? All I got is a bunch of swords that just popped up, like bamboo swords.
I don't know where he was looking, but no, I did. I was driving back home, and I had the second half of the game on my phone. I'm listening as it's happening, I guess it was the end of the first half and a lot of halftime. I got back and was able to watch most of the second half live, and then went back and watched the first half later. But yeah. And the game ended. I'm back home, and I was like, might as well hop on this press conference, ask a question. So it was a good time. So
I love it. Dedicated journalist. I'm a stick too.
But this game. I mean, we had talked last week about how this was an interesting game, because San Jose, they're not a world beater team, but they are decent. They're sort of similar to Sporting in that, they're undergoing a reimagining of their squad. Bruce Arena came in the offseason and took over. He brought in, a couple of players, and there are some brand name players here between Christian Espinoza, Chicho Arango, Joseph Martinez. I mean, even Mark Anthony Kay, who had a terrible game. But I mean, these are known commodities that have been very successful in the league. So I think we were a little concerned with, is Sporting going to be able to do something? And then this man, Logan Ndembe, when he decides he wants to score, or when he has a shot off of his left foot, he has an absolute laser cannon of a left foot. Because, and let me just tell you, the ball movement on this play was just absolutely beautiful. And that's going to be a theme for a lot of these goals. I mean, there's just quick passing, Jovic, showing his little skills with the foot, gets it off to Ndembe, and this man at a tight angle, just a laser into the back of the net. Just incredible, honestly.
It's phenomenal. I was happy to see Logan get on there, man, and he looked equally as happy,
Yeah, I mean, think about, the last time he scored for Sporting Kansas City, I believe, was St. Louis in the playoffs, and then he injured his ACL, and was out for quite a while. And so now that he's come back, we knew he had this attacking threat in him, and he's a solid defender, and it's just good to see. He seems like a good dude, and it's just nice to see him continue to find that success and further solidify his starting left back spot. So
yes, 100%.
Real happy for him. And so that happens. And I'm finishing WrestleMania, and I don't have this up yet. I get the notification. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. We're early lead. Let's see what we can do. And then like 3 minutes later, I get another notification. It's like Sporting Kansas City 2-0, Daniel Salloi. I'm like, whoa. So I pull up the highlight, and I'm like, what the hell is John Pulskamp doing? This man launching a ball damn near the length of the field from a set piece. And it was perfectly placed. And the first touch from Daniel Salloi to bring this down, just gorgeous. I can't recall seeing a goal quite like this in my time watching Sporting KC.
It doesn't happen often, but when goalkeepers do that kind of assist, they normally run the length of the field to celebrate. Like, that's a stat they don't get. And Daniel even said in his post game, he's like, I mean, I wish he would have came and celebrated. And you can even see him in the highlights. Daniel's looking down there like, are you coming?
Yeah.
And John said, I didn't want to get tired. He and I guess I get that, but bro, you don't do a ton of running. You go do a little sprint real fast, celebrate with your guys like that. That's a stat that you do not get as a goalkeeper.
I think the thing I love most about a goal like that is, one, the confidence to try it. Two, obviously the technical skill to pull it off. But I think more than anything is in order for something like that to work, there has to be a level of awareness and a level of unspoken connection between the players to know that, like, I'm making this run. I need you to be aware and looking for me to do it. And if it's there, send it and I'll do the rest. And the fact that Daniel was aware enough on his end to see I can make a move here, and that John was aware enough taking the free kick to see Daniel make the run and was ready to make that pass. It just was a perfect storm of just beautiful awareness all around.
Well, this is like the second time now that Daniel has like taken something on a half volley or a one touch situation in that zone. And this is what we need from him, dude. Like, he had it off a couple years, right? And last year didn't really do much of anything.
Yeah.
And to see him getting on the board twice in this game, this all happened, dude. Like, we were up 3-0 in a matter of like what, 5 minutes or some shit.
It was very, very quick because then 3 minutes later it was Manu Garcia, and again, talk about just brilliant off-ball running. Talk about ball movement, quick counter. Sporting Kansas City steals the ball around the midfield, and then instead of playing the ball around the back line and circulating it and possession and all that, They make a couple passes to get out of the pressure. Shoppy makes his run. There's a really good switch. Shoppy drives, sends the ball into just a terribly dangerous spot for Manu Garcia, perfectly weighted by Shoppy. They got that connection from playing together in Greece. And then Manu just times this run. And I love, you can see on the replay on MLSsoccer.com, there is almost a bird's eye view angle. And you can see Shoppy gets the ball and Manu, he charts the path. He sees all this space, but he slows up his run just enough at the beginning to give Shoppy enough time to make his move. And then he hits the burners and he runs right past the defender. By the time the defender sees it, it's too late. First time touch. And I love that Manu takes it first time. He doesn't try to tap it around and get cute. He just, boom, first time goal. It's gorgeous.
It's insane, dude. I'm thinking 3-0 in the first half. This is crazy. Postcamp came up huge, like 13 minutes in or something like that. Really big kick set sprawl to get big and save a goal. But like San Jose was still coming. San Jose had a lot of shots, dude. And I don't think we had a ton of shots, if I remember correctly. But we converted the ones we had.
3 shots on target, 3 goals.
Really?
That's crazy.
Wow. And I know our XG was like below 2, wasn't it?
For the whole game, yeah. And for the first half, I never trust the Apple XG that they put on because I'm like, they always overestimate it. So I always go to FotMob, the app, and I look there. I trust it a little more. And Apple had a little bit overestimated the XG for both teams, but still, Sporting's XG in the first half was like around 0.7, and San Jose's was like 2.5. And we were up 3-2.
That's not going to work. You know, when you overperform your XG, we talk about that often when it's,
right,
teams like Atlanta or Miami or something doing some wild shit. St. Louis, right? They overperformed for a while their first year. But like this game got real interesting real fast, dude. San Jose got 2 goals back in the first half. Mm-hmm. And it was, you're like, shit, this is a ball game now. And it just kind of became about like, let's calm down. Let's really shore up our defense here, get your shit together. Yeah. Because they're coming, dude, and they have attacking power. Something I wish, though. I wish we had a camera on Bruce Arena the entire game because that's fun. Because he was pissed.
He and Peter were 2 of the ones that would always give the best reactions on the sidelines. And there were times where they'd get into it with each other, and you're like, oh, that's just 2 old men yelling at each other.
Bruce was just like this, just annoyed, just so disgruntled about the whole situation.
Bruce reminds me, he's like the Bill Belichick.
I was trying to play that.
Yeah, like if he came out and had a cutoff hoodie, I'd be like, this makes sense.
Right, if he came out with like a 24-year-old girlfriend, I would get it. It makes sense.
It's the one that he met while she was a literal college student doing homework.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, you're right. They got 2 goals back, and unfortunately, the defense is the defense. Can't say we're surprised. This first goal was on a counter a little bit, and Joaquin just gets caught trying to play an offside trap, doesn't time it right. Joseph gets behind them, and that's a pretty straightforward, easy goal. So that's unfortunate. And then it's funny because the announcers, right before they scored their second one, to just before halftime, the announcers on TV are like, as long as Sporting can get out of here, maintaining a 2-goal lead, you just don't want to give up one right before the half, and you'll be feeling good. And then they give up a set piece in a dangerous spot, and we all know what's going to happen, and they take the set piece, and there's just a loose ball sort of headed on. There was a VAR look for a handball, nothing there. Chicho Arango wide open because nobody's with him, and he heads it in easy. Really not much Pulskamp can do there. When somebody gets a free header from the 6-yard line, that's not on the keeper. But it sucked going in halftime with a 1-goal lead instead of a 2 or 3-goal lead. But if you were to tell me before the game, Sporting are going to go into halftime with a 1-goal lead, I would have signed up for it all day.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lead on the road, for God's sakes. We'd take a 1-goal lead at home. Like you take it. We're in a bad place. You'll take wins. But I was worried. I was like, okay, 5 goals in the first half. Surely we'll get no goals in the second half, right? No, there was 3 more. 3 more in the freaking second half, dude. 2 from us and 1 from them. But they're a decent team, man. That Chicho Arango and Joseph Martinez, they're just they're very dangerous players, very scary. And our back line can't really handle high-profile players like that right now. Yeah. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the fix is. But you can't. You can be happy about scoring 5 goals, but you have to go be pissed about giving up 3. You have to.
Yeah. It was an interesting first half for sure. Let's take a break here real quick. We'll come back. We'll talk about the second half, talk about the resiliency, and so we'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
I'm surprised my wife is keeping the dogs quiet today because we're dog sitting for her grandparents right now, which is a literal small fluffy puppy. We're talking tiny, just ball of fur. And it's like breaking my heart. I'm like, oh, they're so cute back then, and then they grow up to be dicks.
Well, even when they're puppies, they're very tough.
Yeah, but then if they come like lay on you and stuff, you're like, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. It is cute. Now my dog still does that. She'll be a little asshole for part of the day, and then it gets to the evening and she comes and curls up right next to me, and she's 55 pounds, but I'm like, okay, this is why you do it. So
amazing.
It's pretty funny. So yeah, Sporting halftime, 1-goal game. They gave up 2 to end the first half. I'm happy they got the 1-goal lead, but I'm pretty nervous at this point, thinking San Jose's started their resurgence. We've seen Sporting come out flat to start second halves before when they have no business doing so. I mean, it happened last week. And so my concern was, what Sporting KC team are we going to get in the second half this time? Because San Jose really had all of the momentum going into the second half. And, if you look at the stats, this almost seemed like a classic Sporting Kansas City game statistically, except the inverse, because San Jose had 63% possession. San Jose had 22 shots, 6 on goal. Sporting Kansas City had 37% possession, 8 shots, 5 on goal. How many games have we had throughout the last 10 years of Sporting Kansas City history where they dominated possession, took way more shots, had more shots on goal, and lost by a goal or 2? So there's a level of resiliency, I think, that the team showed here to come out in the second half and weather the storm, because San Jose continued to dominate possession and push. And Sporting Kansas City not only saw out a 1-goal lead, which is not something we can say about this team in recent history, they expanded it in the 73rd minute. Again, just really good ball movement. Manu finds Eric Tommy, who came in for Shoppy, and Tommy, just a beautiful ball. And again, Daniel Salloi, a gorgeous run, and puts it away. 4-2. At this point, when it's 4-2 in the 73rd minute, I'm like, okay, it would take a collapse of epic proportions. And the way this team had been playing for the first 73 minutes, I didn't foresee that happening.
Yeah, restoring a 2-goal lead is always nice. Man, just from the San Jose standpoint, you just have to imagine they were very embarrassed, very pissed. You got a struggling Sporting KC team coming coming to your place, and you can't take advantage of that. In fact, you let up 5 goals. Like San Jose is not feeling happy on a Monday today.
Well, and not only is it you let up 5 goals, I would say it's the fashion in which you let up those 5 goals. Because even this Eric Tommy goal, the 5th goal in the 85th minute, again, the ball movement, the spacing that Sporting Kansas City found. My favorite thing about this goal here is it starts with Logan and Denbei on the left side. And Sporting KC of old, he would have just sat there on the left side, waited for 3 runners to try to run, or even 1 runner to try to run into the box. He would have whipped in across, hoped somebody got a header on it, and it probably would have gone out for a goal kick, and that would have been that. In Denbei, he's got 3 different people. He's got Dejan Jovlic, he's got Zorn Basong, and Daniel Salloi all running in sort of a triangle formation, creating space for him. He's able to find Zoran, who immediately sends it inside to Manu, down to Daniel, and then out to Eric Tommy. 1-touch shot goal. Quick passing, gorgeous spacing. Nobody's crowding the ball. People are moving off the ball. Where has this Sporting Kansas City attack been?
I don't know, man.
These aren't new
He's
players.
firing up now. Shallowy's different. Tommy's looking fun. I mean, it's one game. Okay. We got a very tough Cincinnati game this weekend. But like when you got Salloi doing a brace, man, and you got Tommy getting in on the mix and Manu getting in on the mix and Logan, like this is 5 goals from 4 different players. And Jovlic didn't even get a goal, man. And that's our scorer. You have to think he's like, damn, can I get one? Can a motherfucker get a goal? Like that's what I'm here to do. So I don't know, man. This is exciting, but I do have my guard up a little bit. Like you just teasing me, like Sporting, or are you just trying to tell me that this is you now? But I'm not convinced.
The last thing I want to point out about this goal and the build up to this goal is if you watch it, it starts with Manu and then he finds Dion and that springs it. The most touches any one player takes in this entire buildup is 2. And the majority of the touches are 1 touch. And when a player does take 2 touches, it's just to set the ball up to pass a little easier. They're not taking the ball and dribbling. That's the thing that I think has been missing from this team. We've talked about it. This is like the 3rd week now we've mentioned it. It's what the Current do. That quick passing, quick decisive. It's not taking the ball, dribbling around, trying to find your own space. There's something that I think Carey has unlocked in this team. And I don't know that it's so much Carey implementing a new system as it is Carey taking away some of the guardrails of an old system and just saying, y'all are good players, go do your thing. Because he's even said in the postgame, he's like, there's only so much a coach can do on the sideline. Yeah, you can try to implement a system. Yeah, you can tell the players, hey, I want you to be a little bit more right, or a little bit more left, or whatever. But he's like, you also got to trust the players know what they're doing. And I think maybe he's just trusting the players a little more than they were trusted in the past.
Well, that's something. I mean, we're seeing goals, man. Didn't work out against Portland recently, but it did work out against San Jose. I don't know. It's something to get excited about. I'll tell you that. It's a reason to watch and not feel discouraged.
Yep.
That's something.
And yeah, they let up 3 goals, but one of them's from a set piece, which that seems a feature, not a bug. And then one of them was from a penalty kick, in the 4th, 5th minutes of stoppage time. That was a little bit of a freak thing. So 1 goal through run of play, if you want to look at the positives defensively. If you can find ways to limit set pieces and obviously don't give up a penalty, this game could have been a 5-1 game had he not allowed those 2 non-run of play goals. And the 4 goals against Portland were also not really run of play goals either. Carey said he thought they were all basically set piece goals, 2 set piece and 2 throw-ins. So,
well, good point.
If you can find a way to tighten up the decision making that's giving up the ball in dangerous spots on set pieces, throw-ins, or penalty kicks, Sporting can mess around and make some noise. But
yeah,
that's a big ask.
No, for sure.
So we'll see.
Moving into this weekend, I want to go ahead and read Chip's write-up for the week.
Let's do it.
And he highlights some numbers for this past game and looking ahead to Cincinnati. And Chip says, the last time Sporting won on the road in a league match, July 13th, 2024. 281 days ago. The last time Sporting won on the road by more than 1 goal in a league match, March 30th, 2024. 386 days ago. The last time Sporting put up at least 5 on an opponent in a league match, March 30th, 2019, when Sporting hosted Montreal Impact, 2,213 days ago. The last time Sporting put up 5 on an opponent on the road in a league match? Well, that, my dear listeners, was September 15th, 2018, a full 2,409 days ago, and it was against none other than the San Jose Earthquakes. What a match. What a game. Let's look at things. For all the games where SKC has been on the right side of the game stats and still lost, this game feels flipped. Sporting had only 33% possession, the lowest since the June 22nd, 2024 game against Columbus. Passing accuracy was only 62%, the lowest since a 0-0 draw against NYCFC in 2022. We only had 7 total shots in the game, 5 on target, compared to San Jose's 22 shots with 6 on target. This match felt like a flipped script from Sporting games of old, read last year, when we would pepper the goal with shots, but not have anything to show for it. But let's come back to that. Only 7 shots. 7 total shots in 90 minutes. 5 on target and all 5 goals. Getting 5 goals on only 1.6 XG is nothing short of remarkable for a team that has struggled to put together an attack for a few years. But focusing on each goal, Sporting showed vision. They had off-the-ball movement. Ndembe being wide open on the wing and hammering in a goal. Pulskamp seeing the San Jose backline sleeping and hammering an extremely well-placed ball to Salloi, and Salloi controlling it with an amazing touch. I'm not sure who originally placed that long cross to Shoppy, who got the assist to Garcia for the 3rd goal, but Shoppy is running out to the corners to get into open space, and people are seeing that. Salloi making his run for his 2nd goal before the defender has even gotten out of bed that morning. It was a massive amount of team play and seeing how things can develop, then executing. They genuinely look like they're having fun. This whole game felt like we capitalized on every opportunity and made the hits count, especially with Logan Ndembe netting his 1st goal since the first-round match against St. Louis in 2023. That goal, by the way, 0.04 XG. On the stats sheet, it rounds down, so it looks like Ndembe got a goal off 0.0 XG for the game. What a legend. Next up, we have away at Cincinnati, who currently holds 2nd in the East and literally the highest points per game in their last 5 matches in all MLS. 2.6 points per game in their last 5 matches is a rough go for us. They've won their last 4 and haven't lost since March 15th. They also haven't lost at home this year with 3 wins and 1 draw. Thanks to the Saturday night game, SKC does have their first road win of the season, but let's see what kind of damage we can do in Ohio. And newsflash, everybody, this is Daniel speaking. We're going to be on a podcast on Wednesday night talking to Cincinnati. We're going behind enemy lines to fuck shit up. It's going to get crazy, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, we've done this a couple times over with the Cincy Soccer Talk, and we'll do it again. They're good people over there, so excited to go talk with them about what to expect against Cincinnati. I mean, Chip is 100% correct. Cincinnati's a great team. We'll talk about them more here in just a second. So there's reason to be nervous, but yeah, it's exciting. Chip, as always, just crushing it with the analytics.
I forget to read it some weeks. You know that, right? And I feel really bad.
Yeah. Then you have to go grovel to Chip and apologize and be like, I probably appreciate it.
You should grovel from now on. You go grovel.
It is. I think my favorite thing about it is last time Sporting Kansas City scored that many goals, it was against Montreal Impact, who are no longer the Montreal Impact. They're now CF Montreal.
Oh, shit.
That
didn't click to me.
An entire rebrand and our 2 logos later because they had a new logo and then that was terrible. So then they got another new logo.
A couple coaches too, right?
Yeah. A whole bunch of stuff happening up there. But yeah, thank you to Chip. I do want to give a special shout out real quick again to Alex Brown, who sent us a really great long email.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to be able to read everything from this email. Just a couple.
But I did read it.
We did read it, and a couple points I just want to highlight. I mean, yes, agree. Manu, team of the match day honor. Daniel should probably be player of the match day, given that he had 4 goal contributions.
They announced that yet? The nominees?
I haven't seen it. I looked right before we started recording. And I hadn't seen it. They had goal of the match day voting was up, but I hadn't seen team of the match day yet. But a couple things he said, regarding Daniel Salloi, quote, while some may say he's not the, quote, captain type, he led by example with his effort. Well done, and well done to Eric Tommy, too. I really respect his professionalism to come in off the bench and make an impact. Yeah, I think that's worth noting because Tommy started the season as the captain and then got supplanted both in captain position and actual position on the field by Daniel Salloi. And they both continue to do work. So that's not necessarily an easy thing. And depending on the personalities you have in the locker room, that can really be tough. and they both seem to have handled it very well. So I certainly think that's worth pointing out. And then the one other thing I want to mention is the way Alex ends the SKC portion of his email, because he also had some thoughts for currently with the KC Current. But he said, all that said, it was an exhilarating 90 minutes. If SKC can give us that glass cannon approach on some nights and play a little tighter on others, Sporting could be a lot more interesting to watch in the Zavagnin era. In a rebuild year, we aren't going to win every time out, but he was willing to try something different, and it knocked the opponent off balance enough to get 3 points. And I think that's spot on. I think that's what we can expect and all we should expect from Sporting. I put this up on Blue Sky as I was thinking more about the game the day after, and how many times have we talked about this Sporting team over the last couple of years and said the only way for them to get a full 3 points is if they play a perfect game. They had to play perfect offensively, and they had to play perfect defensively. And this was a game where they did not play perfectly by any means. They played pretty near perfect offensively, but defensively, no. But they did well enough on offense that they could counterbalance the defensive mistakes. So if they can do that, and it's not always going to be the offense who's perfect and the defense is not. Sometimes it might be flipped. But if they can be strong enough on one side of the ball to overcome mistakes, that's really all you need. Yeah. Instead of just this team of the last couple of years that could only win if they were perfect, because if they made a single mistake that led to a goal, they were dropping points.
Well, we're not gonna be the type of team that mows people down like Steve Austin on an ATV at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? We're not gonna be that team.
I have to say, as he's riding around the ring going fast as hell, I was like, this dude is about to crash. And then sure enough, I thought he was going to crash into the announcer table or a cameraman. And then
he missed the entrance ramp.
He missed the entrance ramp, crashed into a lady who's probably got the bag now and is set for life, because Nick Khan went right over to talk to her after she was.
I'd be having neck problems. I'd be like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm probably going to need WrestleMania tickets for life.
Yeah. I don't blame her. So that's it was funny.
To follow up on that, like we're not that kind of team. Like we're gonna have to scrap out some victories here, man. We do not have heavy hitters, but we do have quality. God dang, dude. For Salloi to hit his stride right there, and it's not just Joveljic doing stuff, for Manu Garcia to get on the board, to Logan to be like, I'm still here.
Yep.
This is cool, man. It's exciting, and I maybe we pull something off this weekend. I don't know. Maybe we get lucky. Who knows? Cincinnati should be a little worried about a team that just dropped 5 goals on the road. They should be like, well, damn, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. Since he did win on the road against Chicago, which again, granted, it's Chicago.
Chicago.
But they won 3-2. One of the goals that he gave up.
Chicago sports just kind of suck, by the way. Bulls, Blackhawks, Chicago Fire. It doesn't make sense.
CM Punk's losing.
Right.
But one of the goals that they gave up to Chicago was a penalty kick. So really only one goal in the 31st minute that they gave up that wasn't a PK goal. And if you look at Cincinnati, I mean, they don't have Lucho Acosta anymore, but they got Evander, the midfielder that came in from Portland. He's their leading goal scorer, 6 goals. They have Kevin Denke. He's got 4 goals. Those are their 2 biggest attacking threats. And if you look at American Soccer Analysis, they have some of those advanced stats that I like looking at sometimes in terms of goals added, or G+, which is a stat that basically says for every touch you get, how likely is it to contribute to a goal? It could be positive or negative. Evander has just about one of the best goals added ratings in the entire league. He's right at the top 10 mark. Obviously, Lionel Messi's number 1, but he's a top 10 player there. And in terms of expected goals on the year, Kevin Denke for Cincinnati, again, also a top 10 player. So these are 2. If you're worried about 2 players, it's Kevin Denke and it's Evander. They're striker and they're number 10. How will Sporting's center backs be able to deal with it? Are we going to have Joaquin Fernandez? Because he came out with a hamstring injury, apparently.
That's worrisome.
So is it going to be Jansen Miller and Volliter? Is Rosero going to be fit? Who knows? But you got a number 10 that's going to be testing the midfield some. We'll see, if Jacob Bartlett's in there, that'll be a test for the young party. And then Kevin Denke, who's going to be testing the center backs. Those are the 2 players where if Sporting can figure out how to keep them contained, they got a shot at getting some points. But
yeah, if they can figure that out, man, it's real worried about it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, they're two very, very good players. I mean, Evander, we all know, was a hell of a player last year with Portland. 15 goals, 15 assists last year. So that was a great pickup to replace Lucho Acosta. And then Kevin Denke, it's his first year in the league this year. But 4 goals through 8 appearances, 7 shots on target through those 8 appearances. He's a dangerous player. So
Yeah.
I'm nervous. I can't sit here and say I'm super confident that Sporting is going to beat FC Cincinnati or even get a point necessarily. But who knows? It's possible. If they mess around and play like they did in San Jose, it's certainly possible.
Certainly.
So what is interesting, if you look at the standings now, Sporting obviously no longer the worst team in MLS. There's still, we still got a gap that we got to climb before we're back in that playoff conversation. We're, not even a third of the way through the season, but Montreal and LA Galaxy are the 2 teams that are sitting on 3 points worst in the league. LA Galaxy fans are starting to call for the firing of their coach, Greg Manny, and they got their own players. Ricky Puig out there quote tweeting fan accounts saying, "No, don't fire our coach." So as bad as it seems like it's been in Kansas City, sometimes it's a good reminder that it's just as bad or worse in other places.
Yes, because those people just won MLS Cup last year, literally back in December, and it's April now, and they're like, fire our coach. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yep.
I would never do that if we just won the championship. There's no way.
Not only did you win the championship, you won it without your best player.
100%.
He wasn't even there. He was injured.
Yeah.
So
what is their problem? I don't know, man. I hope they stay bad because we got them coming to town pretty soon.
They're spoiled
on May 4th or something.
Galaxy are spoiled. They just, most success in the history of the league, and they're, they go on a 9-game little skid, and suddenly they're like, blow everything up.
They do a great job that helps people dislike them. I mean, it's real easy to say what's everyone saying? Fuck LA. That's what it is.
It is interesting. But Sporting, 7 points through 9 games. It's certainly nothing to write home about, but considering that 6 of those points have come in the last few games in this Wagner era, their trajectory is positive. So we'll see. The Cincinnati game is certainly going to be tough. They are 19 points through 9 games, 2.11 points per game.
It's a day game.
It is a day game. 1:30, I think, is the kick on Saturday.
Oh,
so
we do
little Saturday afternoon action.
Love it.
So certainly looking forward to that. But yeah, it should be fun. In terms of any other results from last week, there's one more story I do want to mention before we sign off here. But was there anything else that sort of caught your eye? I mean, Seattle, they hammered Nashville 3-0. Philadelphia hammered Atlanta 3-0, and I see Atlanta fans, they're starting to crash out and wondering, if they're having a real problem, because I think there were higher hopes for them this year with the return of Miguel Almiron. So I don't know. Is there anything that caught your eye?
I mean, Portland and LAFC just went at it, didn't they? Little 6-goal thriller there, and that was late night soccer too. During the Kansas City game, they were talking about how the other game that's playing at the same time has 6 goals in it. They're like, this is a ridiculous night for MLS.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, a couple of 0-0 draws in there, not worth mentioning. Charlotte put a little spanking on San Diego there.
San Diego needed to be humbled a little bit.
Yeah, it's about time. But it's, St. Louis had a little boring 0-0 draw with Vancouver.
Yeah.
It's wild to see us as the team that scored the most goals in the league that last week, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, it's interesting. And the Portland LAFC game is interesting, and that's a really good transition into the last thing that I wanted to mention, because that was a 3-3 wild game, like you said. And, if you look at what ultimately tied it up, it was a Dennis Bouanga penalty kick in the 90th minute that scrapped a point back for LAFC. But one day before, on Friday, LAFC head coach Steve Cherundolo announced that he's stepping down after the 2025 MLS season. So, LAFC, obviously, they're maybe not having, quite the success that they had hoped this year. They're sitting in 7th place right now. That's a playoff spot, but that's not the success that LAFC has grown accustomed to in their short time in the league. But suddenly now, this is probably the most attractive job that's available in terms of MLS head coaching vacancy. And that's the most interesting thing to me is how or does at all this impact Sporting Kansas City's coaching search? Because, Mike Illig said he had all sorts of people, marquee names, emailing him with interest in this job. I'm not sure anybody expected, a week or two later after that press conference, a job like LAFC to open up and be available. So
maybe Peter goes out to LA.
Can you imagine?
It would be wild.
Can you imagine? We lost Ilya to LAFC. We lost Latif Blessing to LAFC. Benny Feilhaber went out to LAFC. And now if Peter Vermees winds up, he doesn't seem like an LA guy for a lot of reasons.
No, definitely not. But man, it would get people talking.
I think Peter, it's very possible Peter will go on and be a successful coach somewhere. I would be shocked if it were LAFC. I think he feels more of like a Midwestern guy of sorts. If there were ever an opening in Colorado or Minnesota or somewhere like that. Heck, even, FC Dallas or something, I could see him trying to do something like that. But that'd be interesting. But I don't know. I mean, Cherundolo, he was very successful. 87 wins, 43 losses, 26 draws with LAFC across all competitions, 6 finals.
Isn't it pronounced Cherundolo?
Probably. Cherundolo.
Okay.
I'm doing that thing again where I don't really listen when people talk.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, Cherundolo.
I think it's Cherundolo. But
I think right. Thank you. But they're going back. He's moving back to Germany is really what it is. I believe his wife's from Germany. His kids, that spent a lot of time being raised over there. So this is an interesting move, and I'm just curious to watch this and see how it impacts Sporting Kansas City's coaching search, if it does at all.
Definitely could, 100%.
But we'll see. I think that's all I got for this week. You got anything else for our good listeners?
That sounds good, man. You got Champions Cup coming back. CONCACAF's back this week. Tigres and Cruz Azul tomorrow, and Vancouver, Miami on Thursday. So that'd be a cool one. Like we mentioned last week, there will be an MLS team in the final of this thing. So,
Are you? I assume you're rooting for Vancouver over Miami.
I think you have to, right? Like it's just you got to be against the LA teams. You got to be against the Miamis. It just feels like that's what the universe wants.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best chance for MLS to win the Cup is probably Miami, but I don't want to see the glazing the league does of Messi in Miami if they pull this off. Like, it's already too much for a lot of us who aren't Miami fans. I know for the casual fan, like I was at my friend's house watching WrestleMania, and one of the kids that was over there playing, they had a Messi shirt on, and I was like, I get it. I know, I get the marketing draw, but for those of us that are fans of the league before Messi was here, the Miami stuff's a little bit much. So I don't know. It's the same thing, I guess, in a way, to tie the loop back to the wrestling stuff. Like, I'm sure Travis Scott does numbers, but for those who are fans, that's not what they want to see. Messi does numbers, but for those who are fans of MLS, that's not what we want to see.
Well, breaking news for you, bud. Team of the Match Day was just released, and Logan Ndembe and Daniel Salloi are on the Team of the Match Day there.
In the starters or on the bench?
In the starters.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah. That's pretty wild.
They should be 100%. So it's that's awesome. Good for them. Kind of sad. I get why it's not Kerry Zavagnin, but I also would have been kind of happy if Kerry Zavagnin got the coach, but I get why he didn't.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congrats to them. Very, very happy for them. So it's it's pretty cool. I do like on the Team of the Match Day. That was from the old one. I was going to say there was the Team of the Match Day headline, but it was last couple of weeks ago when Dejan Jovic was in the Team of the Match Day. The headline said Sporting KC begin new era. So, hey, that's 3 players in the Team of the Match Day since Kerry Zavagnin has taken over.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
That's not nothing.
It's got to mean something. So anyway, well, thank you all so much for sticking with us and listening. It was great to have another victory pod. Hope many, many more to come this season. There's still 25 games left. We've only played 9. So lots of Sporting KC soccer to come. So we'll be here. Make sure you follow us on all socials at No Other Pod, at Dan Kooser, at JCMac03. Leave us that 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out on YouTube, KCSN Soccer. You can shoot us an email, nootherpod@gmail.com, or get us on the Kansas City Sports Network app. But until next time, he's Dan. I'm Jimmy. We'll catch y'all later. See ya.
If you get an assist as a goalkeeper, go celebrate with your people.